Abortion. You selling them off, and that's another billion-dollar industry.
Male torsos he saw were without limbs and genitalia.
Okay, so one of the most controversial topics in
I'd say so.
that a lot of people would say so right now, abortion. Let's dive into some of this real quick because earlier you
We're getting into that one.
yeah
I knew you were gonna hit me with a surprise.
yeah. Well, you asked my stance on it earlier, and I like to start off with some statistics, but then I'll share my personal beliefs, and whether you agree with it or not, that's completely up to you. We all have our own opinions, right? But real quick, I just looked up some abortion statistics. 1 in 4 women have had an abortion. Only 1.5% of abortions are due to a rape or incest case.
1 in what?
1.5% of abortions are from rape or incest.
Oh, super low. I thought that'd be higher.
I imagine it is because when you get into statistics, you have a gray statistics, you have a shadow statistic, and that is people just not either telling the truth, coming out with actually what happened. They're just trying to I want to be done.
Still pretty low though.
Still pretty low. So even if it's only 10 or 20%, still kind of low. Now, not discrediting anybody that's what happened.
I thought it'd be like at 30%. You know what I mean?
I thought it was going to be higher personally,
Yeah, wow.
but I mean, 1.5. Let's pretend that is actually it. Well, if only 1.5%, so now you're at what 98.5% are due to maybe just women being
just not the right time, man.
Not the right time, right? And it's hard to say and calculate what everybody's reason is and give like, okay, this is right, this is wrong. It's very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
But in 2015, approximately 35% of all pregnancies in New York City ended in abortion.
Hold on, say that one more time.
In 2015, approximately 35% of all pregnancies in New York City ended in abortion. That's coming from the CDC.
Wow.
So 35% of pregnancies.
Almost half. Just see ya.
Just shy of half.
Wow.
And there are other parts in the world where they'll pay you to
babies
move
want to make
there.
it. Don't go to New York, babies.
Don't go to New York. And I think this is like a New York website that's talking about this because they're hitting some New York ones. But for African American women in New York City, more abortions happen than babies are born.
Say that one more time.
For African American women in New York City, more abortions happen than babies are born.
Wow. So half of the black kids that are supposed to be born are not here. Dude, that's...
No, not even half. Not even half. More abortions happen than the babies were born.
More abortions.
Yeah. So
in the black community.
I don't know the statistic, but an example would be 70% were aborted and only 30% were born of African young males or kids. I don't want to say African males or the males.
So the next time
male,
someone
female,
says,
but just kids in general.
So the next time somebody says, well, there's more white people than black people, and there's more, it's like, bro, those are
I have a New York statistic
crazy
for you. Now here's facts. Woo. As of 2019, New York abortion law now allows for abortions all the way to full term.
Who does?
New York in 2019. So I don't know if this changed. This is 2023. These are 2019 statistics. So maybe we need to update these in a minute.
Yeah.
But as of 2019, you could abort all the way to full term. Do you know what that means?
You can just pull the baby out and it's
already
gone.
That baby's already baked. It's made. It could be ready to go. It's a heartbeat. It's breathing.
Dude.
And you know how they pull them out? It's not nice. They pull it out in pieces.
Yeah, I've seen that. Well, I've seen like the cartoon of it. They're like, how is it done? And it shows like a baby in there. It's all sleeping. And they just saw its arm off. They saw its leg off. I was like,
pull it out in pieces.
I was like, whoa, I didn't know that's what it looked like. But so the whole thing with you can abort a baby in New York all the way up till
full term.
They say, though, it's for medical reasons. Like if the mother has, like a high chance of dying with the baby or.
Yeah.
But that can get real slippery though, right?
Yeah. And
because there's a lot of money also in fetuses. you got organs, you got brain. I mean, you got
Tissue,
all this tissue,
stem
cells.
And you know that those moms aren't getting paid, which would be,
I'm sure there's a lot of money in that.
yeah, but okay, think of how sadistic this would be.
A little arcane.
You could have a baby and then you can have that baby aborted and then you get paid for those stem cells for procuring the ingredients.
Yeah.
Like how sick of a world would that be?
Well, dude, people carry people. I mean, you know how many people have come to my wife and they're like, will you carry our baby? She's like, how much?
Yeah, I mean, surrogate moms, it's a real thing.
Some people were like,
and I think that's legit.
100 grand. And we were like,
I think that's legit. I think it's legit.
but they literally can't though. So same thing for that, but the opposite. This baby's going to come, but there's a lot of issues going on. What was the other one where like, Google it, somebody, where if you know the baby is going to have a certain gene of retardation, you have the option to scrap it. That was, I read it somewhere, and all these people were trying to get rid of it. It was like a bill, I think California or New York, one of these crazy states, somebody was trying to pass it. Like it was part of the medical thing that they were doing.
That's heartbreaking, actually.
Bro, I read that and I was like, this can't be real. This cannot be real.
So that's a great parallel to us in other countries. I think it's Sweden. They don't have any special ed programs. It's either Sweden, Denmark, one of the Scandinavian countries. They don't have a special ed program. The reason why is because they want quote unquote normal kids and those with special needs in the same classroom cohabitating, so you learn how to grow with each other because you're all part of society.
Yeah.
So when you separate and segregate, normal kids don't necessarily know how to work with these kids. The kids with special needs don't feel like they're part of the normal group, and it causes a separation. So that's interesting.
So basically what you're doing is you're putting Simple Jack in the same classroom as everyone else.
Yeah.
Do you think, I wonder what, like if you took someone and put them in a special eds class and took the other twin and put them in just a normal class, you think they'd learn a lot faster and maybe not be awkward or not, everyone just treats them normal. You just treat everyone like everyone. There is no special whatever. Like, no, there is no class for you. You're in our class.
So,
and we're going to help, and the kids are probably nicer. You know what I mean?
So I used to work the special ed department at Clovis West.
Yeah.
And I think that's as good as it can be as bad. I mean, obviously, it's not normal for our culture, so my observations are limited, but I do have, firsthand experience. There are some kids where if you're trying to create a learning environment for kids, if you put somebody in there with, like my kid, his name was Tony. He had severe schizophrenia, and they kept changing his medication on him.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty positive the only reason why they had me work with him one-on-one is because if I'm looking at you and you're Tony, and if I do this, I go, hey, yeah, teacher, yeah. I look back, dude was gone. He's watching his handler to get gone. My first day, I had to chase him 2 blocks off campus in a neighborhood and bring him back. I ended up finding out why. One of the other instructional aides was, punking him. He would get in his face and make him feel bad. By the end, Tony would hold my hand, walk with me everywhere. He stopped running because, we were tight like that.
Yeah.
So I do think that would be a really good, or at least a better humane approach of integration when it comes to that. But there are some kids that would just disrupt the class the entire time. But those kids also weren't part of the normal group from inception. They've been separated their whole life. So how do we know that it wouldn't work? Well, that's why we have to look at other countries that are doing things like that. And it looks like they're working pretty well because the last time I checked, Sweden and Scandinavian countries had a lot better education than we did.
Yeah.
But let's not get too far off topic from abortion. Planned Parenthood is the nation's largest abortion provider.
Oh, well, of course.
Of course. Now.
And here we go.
Back to Lil Gates. Back to Lil Gates.
What's up, Lil Gates?
Damon, you pulled it up a second ago. Can you give us a history run on Planned Parenthood,
Why do
please?
you do this to me? Alex, did you know that Bill Gates' dad. What's his name? Mr. Gates. His name is, I don't know his dad's name.
Senior.
Anyway,
we'll call him Senior and Junior.
We'll say little Senior Gates. He was a big proponent in Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm. How big?
They invested a lot of money into this. It's no secret that Gates' father, William Gates Sr., worked on the board of Planned Parenthood. A prominent attorney in the Pacific Northwest, the elder Gates was also a philanthropist and an active member of his community. When he passed away, September, New York State, blah, blah, whatever. So you got Bill Gates, Lil Gates, always talking about population control. And it seems to me that he's always targeting the minority communities.
Isn't that weird?
Around the world.
Isn't that weird?
So your dad's a huge proponent of this. Your mom started Microsoft and they're all super into eugenics and all this stuff, right?
What is eugenics?
That's a good question. So eugenics...
Don't mean to put you on the spot right now.
Yeah, I was going to say I kind of get it, but I don't know how to explain it. I'll bring it up here in a second. So when I go into neighborhoods, I used to live in the hood when I was younger. We lived in the hood for a while growing up. And I noticed that growing up, there was a liquor store and a Planned Parenthood on every corner. And when I went to the nicer neighborhoods to go hang out with some of my friends, there was only schools, outdoor stuff, nice restaurants, the malls, stuff like that. But I mean, there was gun stores too, but they were like in Big Five, right? And then, in the hood, you can walk into like these little liquor store looking gun stores. It was just weird to me. I remember just thinking like that is a weird spot to put that. There was literally a Planned Parenthood like 2 blocks from a high school, minority high school. Mm-hmm. So I always thought when I got older and I realized that Bill Gates' father was on the board of Planned Parenthood, I thought, and Bill Gates won't shut up about population control and depopulating and all these African countries that they want to help. And like we said in the last podcast, so there's too many people and you can give these people a better life if you control the population and they don't have so many kids. Well, there's only one well that we can all drink from. So we got to control the population and scrap these kids. Why don't you just build more wells then? You've got all these money and resources. What are we doing with it? You know what I mean? So I've always thought that. What a very strange connection.
It sounds, they had a villain in a very successful movie franchise recently. Mm-hmm. Thanos.
Yep.
That's a Thanos mindset.
Yeah.
However, I do empathize. Because when you do look around in society, you're like, okay, how is society functioning right now? It's not doing too good.
Yeah.
Like we're doing all right, but it's also like, are we? Are we doing good? But I think that all falls back to leadership and resources available and the limit or the lack of, or the overwhelming control of lack of information that's put out to the public.
Yeah.
Right. But let's keep this, where we're at.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me hit eugenics because I understood it was kind of like this inferior thing of kind of selecting certain people to repopulate, but I couldn't really get it. So here's what eugenics is: a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of a human population, historically by excluding people and groups judged to be inferior and promoting those judged to be superior. So we're taking the breed that we want, is what it sounds like to me from a eugenic standpoint, right?
Interesting. Go ahead and share my screen real quick. This is just something I found. I don't know the legitimacy of any of this because at the end of the day, Damon and I are just two random guys, right? We're just looking at stuff. But right here, Bill Gates' father, or Lil Gates and Lil Gates' father, Big Gates, was the head of eugenics group Planned Parenthood. A 2003 interview with PBS's Bill Moyers, Gates admitted that his family's involvement in reproductive issues through the years has been extensive. Through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Gates has been conducting tests for the past decade with new vaccines on poor people in African countries and other places.
Damn.
That's interesting.
So back to the abortion thing. To me, I am all about freedom, right?
Yeah.
I don't care what you do with your body. I look at myself as a Christian. I'm American, but I'm independent. So I don't lean with the conservatives. I kind of have I'm kind of homeless when it comes to politics in a way. And when people ask me how I feel about guns, do I think there should be a background check and maybe some medical stuff? Kind of, but then that can get slippery and then it's like, well, why do I have to register it though? You can see my bank statements. The FBI does a background check. If I'm schizophrenic, then I get denied, right? I think that should go through. But I kind of already am in the system. So I disagree with the registering part. That's where it gets slippery to me because yes, you register your car because if it gets stolen or you bump into mine, there's insurance and all these things, right? But why do I have to register my guns?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
You have a gun that's, excuse me, you have a gun that's unregistered. We're going to talk about crime right now. You go to, there's a random murder on the street.
Yeah.
It's gang affiliated. Well, you take the rounds or you find the gun, but there's no registered owner. Doesn't really give you a good way to go. It's not a good lead on who committed this crime. If neighbor John goes and kills your kid for whatever reason, we know who's this is registered to. Mm-hmm. The bullet casing matches your gun and how it's fired.
That's a whole different thing too.
It is
the grooves and the bullets and
right. I know that's going on CSI and everything like that.
We're getting a little deep on that. I've never seen. One of my buddies' neighbors got murdered, and they were like, "Well, can't you do this and can't you do that?" And they were like, "No, we can't do that."
Okay, let me clarify.
We go by fingerprints.
Let me clarify where my mind was. Oh, it's a 45 shell. Mm-hmm. Your neighbor's got a 45. It gives you somewhere to go, somewhere to start looking. Whether that's exact or not, it gives you a lead to go.
Yeah.
And me personally, I don't mind the registering of the weapons if it's like, cool, yeah, these are mine. You're never taking them. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not doing what Australia did. You're not getting my gun back.
But do you know how they found all the guns in Australia?
People gave them away.
Because they were registered and they knew what doors to go knock on.
Well, no, they had the people voluntarily turn them in.
Well, I'm just saying, if you turn that around, we know who has the guns. We know where they are. And they're registered and they're serial. Like, if there was, what was it? What happened in Sacramento? Everything got leaked. Everyone's guns that are registered and everything, like it somehow someone broke into it and cracked it. And now it's like, we know what you got. And we know where it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, when it comes to freedom, you do what you want. I'll do what I want. Do I agree with every little aspect of it? No. Do I think some things can be taken advantage of? Yeah, like registering. Mm-hmm. Do I register my guns? Yeah. Do I like every part of it and does it all make sense to me? No. But I should be able to go buy anything I want. And if I have a criminal background or if I'm schizophrenic, then yeah, it's kind of like someone who's half blind. Sorry, dude, you can't drive.
So
you know what I mean? So when it comes to abortion, absolutely right. You do what you want. I'll do what I want.
So, well, let's
hard topic.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So guns, regulation. Okay. DMV, vehicle, registration. Okay. Whose house is this? Registered in my name. Okay. It's yours. Property, right? Well, when it comes to abortion, they're real laxed.
Real
laxed. And we're talking about, wait, I have to go register a car. I have to take a test. I have to prove this is mine. I have to pay fees on this every year.
Who pays for the abortion?
And this is the part where my mind gets clouded. But to end a human life because you chose to go have unprotected sex with a random stranger is not regulated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So that's just a thought. I'm not trying to point fingers or nothing like that, but I'm like, okay, that's a little interesting. But then what about if you're a repeat offender? What if a woman has 5, 6 abortions? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lack of accountability in that.
Who's paying for that?
Well,
Taxpayers.
taxpayers. Somebody is. Or the clinics selling the body parts. Something. I don't know. And that's...
And don't tell me that's conspiracy, because the FBI has literally found warehouses
of bodies
full of body parts just left in these big water waste saline baskets.
Yep.
Literally, Google that. They have found like these factories, empty buildings, like in the middle of like a downtown, just an empty building that's been there forever. And somebody finally went in and was like, there are hundreds of body parts in here, and nobody knows where they came from.
Now, this is where
Not conspiracy.
Yeah, this is where my mind might tiptoe on conspiracy. I'm like, okay, if you own Planned Parenthood and you're responsible for the largest number of abortions, well, and you have all, if I wanted to make a lot of money off selling baby parts, I would try to make it as easy as possible, accessible everywhere, because I know it's not going to stop.
Yeah.
And if I'm making, I don't know how much, like this is, I've never had to say this before, but I don't know how much a baby sells for, or parts, organs.
Yeah.
But if you're making $20,000, $30,000 off, you know, a baby that's at like almost full term, you're just being fed cash flow every day.
Yeah.
So that's where I start getting like iffy. Like, yeah, absolutely. I think if something went down, someone's life is in danger. Like if I have a wife and, you know, we're 3 months into the pregnancy and it's like, hey, there's some serious complication. Like we got to get this thing out. Your wife's going to lose her life. Okay. I can't get another wife.
Yeah.
I can make another baby. You know, if I had to choose one, it's like, I'm going to keep my wife.
Yeah.
You're staying around, baby.
But like you said, that's like 1% of it.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
well, that's
the
1.5 is for the rape and the incest, right? I'm talking like medical.
Yeah.
Like someone's life's on the line. Your wife's life is on the line.
Yeah.
Right. Or your partner's life is on the line. But this is where I stand. You should be able to do whatever you want, but that needs to be regulated.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go in and I don't think it's fair to just go in and get an abortion just because one person wants to. Two people made that. Two people entered a conscious decision. And I've seen videos and I know people, and I almost experienced this as well. Fortunately, it wasn't my kid. She lied, said it was somebody else's.
That happens.
Yeah, happens a lot.
It happens.
Happens a lot. You do it, go do it. It's up to you. If both parties agree that this is not the right way to go, and in some instances, if the guy's a douchebag, right? Like there's so many different ways that could go. I'm not going to say one's right or one's wrong, but what I would like to see is more regulation.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be so easy to get out of a poor decision you made partying Friday night with your girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, okay, hold on. This is your fifth one in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Something's going on there.
Yeah.
That's just poor mindset. That's poor living quality. And I think I think lines need to be made. If I got to go register my vehicle, if I got to register my guns, if I got to do this, I got to do that, then there should be more regulation in the abortion. But the conspiracy side is like, well, let's not do that because now we're getting all these free baby parts and we're just selling them off. And that's another $1 billion industry.
Yeah. So check this out real quick.
Oh, sorry, real quick. There's nearly 1 million abortions per year on average. And that's just the ones reported.
Yeah. Wow. Check this out real quick. You want to see something insane? Dismembered limbs sewn together like Frankenstein at Body Parts Donation Center. FBI found. A former Phoenix FBI agent said that when he raided the Biological Resource Center, he observed several unsettling scenes. Yeah. So don't ever tell me that there ain't weird shit going on, because there are centers. Body part donations. Body part donation center.
Jesus.
What in the hell? So imagine, he said buckets and coolers with various body parts, including a bucket of heads, arms, and legs, were also absent of identification, as were body parts strewn in freezers. Male torsos he saw were without limbs and genitalia, he wrote. A cooler he saw was filled with men with male genitalia, added. Dude, and that's just the shit we actually have found.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get too off subject, but don't tell me that this shit is, that's conspiracy. There you go, bro.
There you go.
There you go.
And real quick, to the men out there listening to this, fucking, if you're not trying to get her pregnant, pull out, wear condoms.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to share too much about what I do, but I mean,
Please do.
I can count on, a few fingers, like how many times I've actually pulled the trigger inside, because I just don't trust it. I'm on the pill. I don't trust you. I get the jab. I don't trust you. I don't trust that shit at
Hey,
all.
bro, I got Pfizer, Moderna. I don't care. Pulling out.
No, there's other places you can finish. And
Yeah.
if you're not in that for the long term, I mean, every time you pull the trigger inside, you are rolling the dice. And
So
I have friends. I mean, you know him.
Oh, yeah.
He's got insane baby mama drama. Kid got taken halfway, or actually literally across the entire country.
Damn.
And he's still fighting for custody.
So do you think anyone should be able to get an abortion, or are you against abortion?
No, I'm for it in the right way.
Yeah.
There's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. And just as you stated earlier, like politically, you're kind of homeless in that area. I don't think anybody should follow any one thing blindly.
Yeah. Well,
and that goes for everything. That's for me, that's religion, that's politics, that's everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, because what I see is that people, they get so into these groups, right? Like my conservative friends are like 100%, you should not be able to get an abortion. I'm like, yeah, but you don't like when people tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, now that I have kids, because I'm guilty, I'm not, 18, 19, 20, like we're all not innocent here. We've all been to the clinic when two people go, we're not ready for this. Everyone has, you know what I mean? Well, not everyone, but a lot of people I know have. I know women that have had 2 or 3 in way back in the day, and they feel terrible for it now because they have kids. But they're like, at that time, I'm like, listen, you can't tell anyone what to do, but you can abuse it. These weird fucking, companies and body parts going missing, and someone's making some money. I don't think taxpayers should be paying for it. I think there should be a limit at some point. Mm-hmm. But, and then if you want to limit that, well, we can limit your stuff. It's like, okay, you know what? This is impossible. You do what you want. That is on you. What you do is up. But then because there are, growing up, I did hang out with kids. Their families sucked. Mm-hmm. Their homes were broken. I mean, literally broken. They didn't have a front door. Like, broken windows.
Red Hot Chili Pepper
floors.
status.
Yeah, tweaker dad pulled up all the floors and never fixed it. And you don't know who's touching your sister in the back. Like, bro, I was around some houses where I was like, your house is wild, bro. And in my head, I was thinking, if I was that kid, I would not want to be here.
Yeah. So
Tweaker parents. So it's like, I can't tell people what to do. That's totally up to you. That's between you and your maker. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one.
So let me ask you this question. And this would probably be like the most controversial question I'll ask. Mm-hmm. Does everybody have a right to be a parent?
I don't think so.
I
have seen.
am leaning, as I get older in age, more and more, I'm like, and I think that I'll piss a lot of people off, but here, check it out. If you have a kid,
yeah,
and you fuck up raising that kid, and you beat, you torment, you're just, and I'm talking like, I'm going like deep. I'm not just saying just an average person.
And they become the Boston Bomber.
And when you have a kid, you have to realize your kid has the ability to impact this world for greater or for worse. I mean, think about it. You got people like Stalin, Hitler.
Yeah.
Somebody had that kid, and look what they did.
Yeah.
You have the ability to bring life into this world that has the ability to impact or decimate.
Yeah.
Now, on that note, it's very difficult to say, okay, well, it's your God-given right to procreate. It's like, okay, well, if you do it, you need to be responsible about it.
Yeah.
Can't just be having kids just to be having kids. Like,
I mean, it's my right to go get a car and drive. I mean, it's not a right, actually. Getting a gun is a right. Getting your license is a privilege.
right.
People need to remember that.
And that's
Doesn't mean everyone should be driving, because you've had a lot of
Exactly.
DUIs and you killed the person. Like, you don't have these
Yeah.
rights anymore.
now, it's almost impossible to regulate that, right?
Yeah.
Like, however, Starship Troopers, the movie from the 90s, they had citizens and they had civilians. Do you know what the difference was? Civilian is just, you're a person, but you haven't served the country in any way, shape, or form, or the humanity in any way. Because at that point, they're New World Order, right? They're
Yeah.
one government. The Federation
Yeah.
is the world. But if you're civilian, you can't vote. You can't have kids.
Dang. So you haven't put in enough to contribute.
You haven't contributed to the betterment of society. And so you're not a citizen.
I kind of like that.
But a citizen can vote. A citizen can have family because they are part of the group.
Yeah.
Right? We are so far away from anything like that, I think. But I don't see that. I see that kind of happening in the future.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, as a parent, watching other parents, seeing family, people I know from the past, where their kids are at right now, depression, just not paying attention. I'm like, why did you have a kid? I mean, I'm sure it was an accident, but it's like, why did you have a kid? I don't get it. And yeah, some
Right.
of those kids, they do grow up to be amazing, because, the harder your life is.
I'm one of those. My mom was a single mom, and the dad was like 17. And from what I'm told, he didn't come from like a great family.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, it wasn't going to be a good situation. So my mom had every right to abort me, but she's like, not for 1 second did I ever think about aborting you. You were mine. I was keeping you. And,
Yeah.
Dude,
that is tough at 17.
No, she
Oh
was
my-
19.
19?
She was pregnant at 19
God.
and had me at
think my
20.
mom had
But I
me at
think
19.
he was 17. So
Yeah, I think my mom had me at 19.
yeah,
And I'm like, I don't know how you got through that.
different age, different time.
Dude. But so my dad was there
Very
in the
difficult
beginning.
now.
He lived somewhere else, but my stepdad took over till I was about 13.
Yeah.
Great dude. Kind of fell apart there at the end. But I had a male role model.
Role model.
And I
A
had
good one, a
and
strong
I had
one.
a home. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
it wasn't perfect. There was a lot of fighting. There was some shit that went on. But like for the most part, it's like, dude, some kids have it way worse.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I had the stepdad. And actually, do you know, if you look at our high school group, like almost everybody, at least in my court, all stepdads.
Yeah.
All of us.
Oh, dude, even like
Casey, Patrick, Mike.
Yeah.
I almost said his name, but he didn't make it public yet. Ian.
Yeah.
like,
Telling you.
like
You got to
all-
have
a lot,
those
dude.
stepdads out there, bro.
Yeah, shout out to all the stepdads.
Shout out to all the stepdads.
Shout out to all the stepdads that came in and fathered or became a dad to people like me, people like Damon.
Got you to
Because
practice, took you camping.
Yeah, my
Talk
dad,
to-
he had the one rule. He's like, you're playing one sport a year. I don't care what you think. I was like, okay, best
Yeah.
thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
Yeah,
but
when you're
shout out to all the
afraid-
stepdads.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, when
this world would be, I don't know, man.
Yeah, when you come home and you got a black eye and your dad, your dad or stepdad's like, what happened? You're like, oh, I don't want to talk. It's like, time to go in the garage. We're gonna learn how to box. It's like, oh shit.
Oh, it
Shout
got
out to
real.
all the stepdads.
Shout out to all the stepdads, straight up. I
I want to go to a new school. Fuck that. You're not going to a new school.
yeah, I mean, even the stepmoms, just if you come in and you see a child that needs a role filled and you believe that you can do it and you do it a great job, like you guys are superheroes,
Yeah.
straight up. Step parents are good ones. Bad ones, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. But, that's the thing with me is when it comes to abortions, if you don't think you're supposed to be having a kid, then you're probably not. Whatever you want to do, like, oh, it should be illegal. And like, dude, it's between you and God at that point. I can't do anything, because what if I force you to have that kid and you're a piece of shit? You know what I mean?
That's the flip coin. That's
like,
the other
dude,
side, right?
Yeah. And then so the government, and then the other side, and my conservative friends are going to fucking hate me for saying this. The other side
Say
is
it.
the other thing that I think of. Well, I've said this to all of them. Those are real friends. Is when you can talk shit to each other and you don't like. I'm not talking to him anymore. So the
You're not
government,
invited to my birthday party.
yeah, not get invited to my kid's birthday. And so the government says some parts of the country now are like, it's illegal. You cannot get an abortion. You got to drive to that state to go get it, right? Mm-hmm. In my head, though, I'm thinking, well, if you're pushing this person to have a child, then you fucking better have better daycare. You better have better schools. You better have better things for women, you know, for counseling and miscarriages and this and that. We put all this money into other things, but the most important thing in our society,
Kids.
the kids. What's the first thing that Hitler went after?
Kids.
The youth. Because he said that is our main goal.
It's
right?
called indoctrination for those of you that don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So when people say you shouldn't get an abortion, you should, I'm like, dude, that's your choice. But if the government's going to make you do it, then you better supply some shit. You know, if dad leaves or someone gets hurt, this is why you always get life insurance as well. I mean, I don't know. The conversation can go so many ways, but it's like the same thing. Like I said earlier, you can't tell me what to do. Don't come try to take my guns and limit this, and you can't buy a diesel truck and you blah, 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 blah. And I won't tell you what to do, and we can be neighbors and hang out. We can all get along. And that's where I stand with abortion. We can all get along. You don't tell me what to do. I won't tell you what to do. If you want to vote for this guy, you want to vote for that guy. But the more conversations we have, these people can understand each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So when my neighbor goes, you know, I just don't, you know, you shouldn't be able to buy more than 2 guns, or you don't need more than a shotgun. I go, have you ever lived in a neighborhood where 5 guys come and rob your house? Have you ever seen a van pull up and 3 dudes get out with guns and shit goes down? Because you live in a gated community. You don't understand this person.
My point exactly. But
You know what I
Damon,
mean?
that would never happen in this neighborhood.
Oh my God. You want to see the cities right now that are rioting?
Oh yeah,
I mean, should I call in one of our cop buddies and have them tell you the real statistics on shootings, burglaries, and stabbings? Well, Damon, that's because there's too many guns. There wouldn't be shootings. Oh, really? Tell that to the dude that took the van and ran it through 40 people. Mm-hmm. Dude, crazy people are just crazy. We'll talk about guns on the next one.
I mean, people are like, oh, for the record, mass murder is inexcusable.
Yep.
Right? But who are the real mass murderers?
The psychos.
Drivers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Drivers kill the most people. Gangs.
Yeah.
I
What's
mean-
the number one reason for we'll get into the next one because this is about abortion, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do a gun one next time.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know this is about abortion, but driving and alcohol kills more people than guns do.
You know what kills more? Would have been black children in New York than anything?
Was it like a vaccine?
Abortions. It's a fact. It's a statistic. It's literally right here. This kills more children in New York than anything.
Dude, you just brought that full circle.
Being
Oh my
aborted.
God.
It's on what website is that? Don't get mad at me.
It's firstchoiceprc.com. I don't know. I've never heard of this website before. First Choice
Bro.
Pregnancies Resource Center.
Do abortions kill more kids than shootings? Oh shit! Let's wrap it up right there. We're canceled. That was a serious question.
No, it's a legit question. Oh my God.
We're gonna have to cut that one out. We can't keep that. Yeah, we're keeping that
We're
in.
so canceled.
Oh,
you
yeah.
you better open the video up with that hook.
Dude. All right, let's wrap this up.
All right.
Let's wrap this up.
We know where Damon stands. You know where I stand. I'm sure everybody has their own personal opinions. And relax. Okay?
We can talk about this.
Relax.
We should all be able to talk about this.
If this frustrated you, it's okay. You're human. We're human. There's some triggers out there. It's all right. But just breathe. Okay, we got to be able to have adult conversations about these kind of issues.
We're going to have to bring some girls in here next time and talk about this.
I identify as a girl. What are you talking about?
Oh, shit. All right. That's it for today, guys. We'll see you on the next one. We're out.
Oh, man.